Oh, hey, what is going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a very recent release here from Sheik Mainland. Really looking forward to checking this one out. This design, it looks super cool, very kind of old school, stompy, kind of Dugram style in terms of the design of this one. So we're going to be taking a look at the red version, by the way. There is also a green version too, if you prefer. They're both exactly the same, just going to be molded in different colors, so it doesn't really matter too much. I don't even think that there's going to be any difference in terms of like the decals that are included. If any decals are included, I don't even recall, but I think there might be. We'll find out here in just a moment, getting into the contents inside, and then we'll get the kit built up and we'll check it out for today's video. Let's go ahead and get into it. It's a really cool box art here on the front with the sun shining through the legs of the Homer here, as it says on the box. I think we have it as like attack monster, as like probably just the translation of the Chinese there or something. But anyway, like we saw with the release of the Action, this one for the box art and kind of the decoration on here, kind of really leaning into the kind of faction decorations here. Like you can see over here, this is also Heisenberg Heavy Industries logo and just kind of the different logo decorations they have on here. This is of course a part of their Ultra Action series in 1/44 scale. A pretty thick box too here, as you can see on this side. We've got different artwork of that, again with like the sun setting there in the background. And on the other end, once again, different artwork, kind of close up, looking very weathered, kind of different illustration style here for that. On this side of the box, just kind of in the hanger there, looks like, I think that's like kind of a hammer sort of weapon that it has, a melee weapon. And then on the other side, you can see is the cannon that it's got on the back, I believe. So if we look here on the back side of the box, we've got vertical artwork here with some more text, all in Chinese. Some cool line art there with some more information, again, all in Chinese there. But with that, let's go ahead and open up the box. Yeah, this is a pretty thick box here, so I'm looking forward to checking this out. We do have in this bag, it looks like our decals and then the card included. Card, once again, here, just having some like chibi art. In this case, it's of the green version, not of the red version, so it's just gonna be the same for the two, both versions of the Homer. You got some stats and some more stats here on the back of the card. And so I'm guessing the decals are also gonna be the same for both versions. But some cool decals here, mostly in white with some black and yellow, black and a little bit of green on there for some nice decals there for the kit. And then our instruction manual here is just the assembly manual here, not owner's manual like we saw with the Action. So I'm guessing this is not going to have quite as much artwork that we saw with that one, but some really nice line art there of the design with the pistols and hand here on the back. Just kind of going to be mostly the same kind of thing. We do have some text here on the front inside, then the parts list, and then on into the construction. So this is not going to be like a bound instruction manual, just like a fold out one. So folds out for the construction. See on the back side, just going to be the end of the construction and the final assembly there with the weapons. Here we've got the marking guide where all those decals are going to be placed around there on the kit. Another big wall of text here at the very end, and I think that's it for this. So the first of our runners is just going to be our hand parts here in this softer gray plastic, weapon holding hands, closed fists, and open expressive hand options. And then we've got these very colorful, fruity looking runners here, which are not labeled, but basically this is just going to be the clear part for the canopy. And it looks like we have the option of either making that clear orange, clear green, or clear blue. So you'll have your choice for that. The A runner here in gray, this one's going to be our advanced polymer runner, so that little bit more kind of flexible gray plastic here for a lot of the joints. The B runner is going to be all of our red parts for the kit, and there's two of the B runner in a really nice shade of red. I have to say, it's not that kind of just like obnoxious, gaudy, just straight red. It is a little bit kind of darker, really nice color to that. The C runner, then we also have two of for a bunch of parts here in gray. Looks like a lot of the weapons parts there. Same thing here for runner D, but not all weapons. These are just kind of a lot of mechanical parts of the kit, it's like parts for the feet and other bits around here and there, so all looks pretty nice. Lastly then, runner E here we have in a kind of a light beige color for just a handful of parts, and that's it. Let me go ahead and get this put together. We'll check it out. All right guys, here it is all built up. Such a cool design. This was a really nice build. It's super solid in hand. I like the rest of the line has been these kits from Sheik Mainland, but just a really solid feeling kit here with this. It's going to be really highly customizable, not only just with the really nice variety of weapons that we have included with the kit, but then if you wanted to use anything else like Kotobukiya MSG parts or Bandai option parts or whatever else, you could use those with this kit as well. So it's not only a really cool design, but there's a lot that you can do with it. So let's go ahead and take a look at those included accessories here. So first of all, obviously we've got our hand options there. You've got the closed fists on the kit. We also got this very nice set of open expressive hands. Now the posing on these and the look of them is really nice. Unfortunately, you are still going to have a little bit of those like circular marks on the inside of the hand there just from the mold release pins. And then our weapon holding hands, unfortunately going to have the same thing here on the top of the hands. You can see there, that's probably going to be mostly hidden by kind of like whatever weapon you're holding there in the hand, but there's our 3 hand option sets. For inside the head there, underneath that clear canopy piece, and obviously I went with the clear orange canopy, but you do have the clear green and clear blue options as well. But you can kind of see our little person inside there. If you wanted to use a piece where there's no actual like pilot inside, you can use this piece. So this kind of off-white piece inside there is not only for like the cockpit chair on the inside, but then also the vents on the side of the head. There, it's just one single piece. There's one with a person in there and then one without. And then for our armaments, first of all, we've got 2 of these missile pods. Now these are meant to fit here on the side of the leg. So those look pretty cool, certainly add to the bulk of these already pretty bulky legs. And then a kind of cool little gimmick here, this part on the side actually slides and those missiles kind of like pop out there a little bit. It's not really, and they don't actually like fully come out, but it's just sort of like a cool little gimmick there. And then we've got these larger missile pods, 2 of these as well. Now this is just going to fit onto the back with this connection piece. They'll plug into this hard point right here, and then that can be deployed over the shoulder. Now this also opens up like this, and you can see we've got all these missiles inside. It does open fully. So I think this was just meant to be something like that, where these are just going to fire up vertically like that as a sort of bombardment. But that is really cool. We got 2 of those. Also, this connection here is on a sliding track, so this can actually kind of slide back or slide forward when in use or when not in use there. And then we've got these long cannons, 2 of these. Now you can build these either symmetrical or you can build them asymmetrical. I've got them asymmetrical here in case you wanted to have like both cannons on the back at the same time. I'm going to try that out. Or again, you can do that with the missile pods there as well. But this is going to attach onto the backpack in the same way, just using this connection arm. So either you connect the arm here either onto the left side or the right side. Also this ammo pack here you can connect onto either the left or the right side. So if you want to make it symmetrical or not. The barrel will then just fold forward pretty simply there like that. Some nice detail on this. There is going to be a seam line down the length of the barrel there and on the weapons and on a couple of other spots on the kit. But another kind of cool gimmick here is this part will also pull back here at the back, and then inside there, which it just fell out, there's an actual like shell. So you've got 4 of these like actual like cannon shells here that fit into this back part there. Just fits right inside there. So most of the time, I mean, it's not ever going to be seen and it's a pretty useless gimmick, but it could be pretty cool, especially if you wanted to use those just like if you were making this in a diorama and you just want to like put those on the ground like next to it to show those are like spent casings or whatever. So that can just connect up onto the back on the opposite side in the same way, or again, you can double up on the cannons or double up on the missile pods there. But then for melee combat, we also have 2 of these pickaxes here. So you have just kind of 2 of everything, this sort of sledgehammer pickaxe sort of weapon, 2 of those. Then you've got a bunch of these little like option connection pieces that you can use for connectors. Now one of those you could use, or both I suppose you could use, just fits into that little square hole here, and then you could have these also connected up onto the backpack or something. Oddly, there is no hard point here on the side skirt where it might make sense as like a place to store these, like right here or something like that, but you could just drill a hole into there if you wanted to. Here on the back skirt, there is a hard point right there, so I suppose that could be a good spot to hold this. Then of course we also have hard points here on the sides of the arm, the sides of the leg, both the inside and outside of the leg there. And then just in case you wanted one more weapon option here, hidden up underneath the shields, we've got pistols here as well. So those have a little hole there in the side that fits onto this little hard point on the underside of the shield there. Some nice detail, but it's just going to be all this single red molded piece except for this little bit there at the top, which gives you a nice little bit of color separation. But yeah, the pistols also just going to have a lot of nice detail on there, seam line on those as well, but it just gives you some more weapon options, which is always nice. So yeah, just to talk a little bit more about the kit here, then you are going to have another little seam line here on the top of the shoulder. The shield is just plugged onto the side of the arm via a ball joint there. And a lot of the parts and the joints and connections on this kit are quite tight, and it's not like tight in a bad way, but very firm, I guess would be a good way to put it. It's a really solid chunky little kit here. But despite how chunky it is, I think it's going to have a really nice range of articulation. Like here in the elbow, you've got a nice double joint there that gives you a nice full bend. You can raise up that front skirt there, and you got some nice detail up on the underside of the front skirt. You can see we have a hard point up underneath the waist as well for plugging this onto an action base. Unfortunately not included, but you can bring the leg up, and you got a double joint in the knee here as well, so you can get a really nice, pretty full bend there at the knee. Up underneath the feet, you've got like some hollow gaps there, but some really nice detail in there as well. So kind of a little bit of a mix, but some nice range of movement here with the feet as well. Forward, all the way forward to there like that. Back down to there like that. And then importantly, you can get a really nice wide stance while angling the feet to the side here, because especially with this meant to be a sort of like heavy bombardment unit, you want to make sure, I mean, obviously this is a little exaggerated, you're not going to make it stand like this, but you're going to want to make sure it has like a pretty solid stance on the ground, right, when it's firing its cannons and missiles and all that off the backpack. So the side skirts here also on ball joints, those move around freely. The back skirt is just this fixed little piece there. These little thruster bells up underneath the back will move up and down a little bit there. And then as you just saw, despite this being like a very chunky torso here, you actually do have a really nice range of articulation, kind of backwards and then forwards, quite a lot there, a lot more than you might expect for the design. Side to side a little bit here as well, and then obviously rotation a little bit there at the midsection. So going up here to the shoulders, those will also pull out to the front there for a good range of forward movement, and then the arms can come out to the side about 90 degrees there to the body. Lastly, then the head has a double joint there in the neck, so you can get a really nice far bend for the head looking up like so, and then down like that as well. So a really nice range of movement, kind of a lot more than you might expect, again, just kind of based on the design. And then also just to give you guys a real quick size comparison here with your average 144 scale HG Gundam model kit, as you can see, it's going to be pretty big. Obviously it's got a lot of bulk to it, but it's got a little bit more height on there as well. So fairly good size model for what is, you know, typically about an HG size. So let's go ahead then and take a look at this guy in a few different poses here. With all the different weapon options that you have with this, there's kind of a lot that you can do when it just comes to how you might want to pose or display this. Honestly, this is another one of those kits where I would really recommend just getting two of them, especially because it comes in two different colors. I mean, you could get one red one and one green one. And that is, I suppose, only at the time of recording this. I don't know if maybe in the future they might come out with more color versions of this. They do tend to do that sometimes. I imagine it's very possible that we might see some more variations of this kit in the future, and I would be all for it. I'd be very excited. I really like this kit a lot. It's such a really cool design, and the kit is a really fun kit as well. Really solid kit, comes with a lot of great options, a lot of great detail. The color separation on there is really nice. There's a couple of seams that are maybe going to be a little bit tricky, but I think you could also maybe just think about turning a couple of those seams just into panel lines, with the only real notable ones, I guess, on like the main body basically just being those little ones there on the tops of the shoulders, and that's kind of about it. So overall, really fantastic construction on this. Normally for a kit that doesn't come with the base, I would recommend you guys to get an action base, but this one, obviously, I mean, just kind of based on the design, is one that's really kind of has a lot of potential just for ground poses, I think. But obviously if you did want to get an action base and get it up in the air for like jumping or flying or falling poses, whatever you wanted for posing options with it being up off the ground, you can use just a regular Bandai action base for that. But I gotta say, yeah, it's just an awesome kit that gives you really just kind of everything that you could possibly want. Nice range of articulation, nice details, really good construction, it's simple, and it's great for posing. And you have so many different options as far as how you might want to arm this, and that's just to say with what's included in the box. I suppose I should also mention that, I mean, using those 3mm hard points and just kind of based on the design, I think there's a lot of really great options that you would have if you wanted to also use some different like weapon option parts from like 30 minutes missions or other different like Bandai weapon option parts sets. I think would work really well with this for like backpack mounted weapons or just stuff either mounted to like the forearms or the sides of the legs. This kit actually doesn't really come with necessarily anything to really utilize those hard points that are on the sides of the arms, but you could absolutely add even more stuff or a different variety of stuff onto this. So really cool kit, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think about this guy? And if you want to check out these kits and more from Sheik Mainland and just more awesome mecha model kits in general, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got lots of great stuff there on the site, so check that out. And thank you guys for checking out the video here today as well. If you're not subscribed, you can subscribe right down there below, and if you enjoyed it, you can leave a like as well. I really appreciate your guys' support. Thank you so much. See you guys next time. Later.